Okay, we're back. We're back for round two. Um, we decided we wanted to do even more. So I have with me Daliya Karnofsky again.
Happy to be here again.
Yeah, and possibly no time has elapsed for you, dear listener, because possibly I have just like concatenated these two audio files into one scrumptious episode.
That would
Unclear,
be great. Unclear.
but we are next going to dive into compatibility. So yeah, how man, I forget what the rhythm is here. What were we
Me
doing?
too. I think I think I look at it and then
Okay.
I'm like, okay, oh maybe you read it. You read it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You read
that's
it.
good. That makes
I
sense.
think we both have such Thursday energy right now. We're both just like, I'm tired.
Oh dear.
We're gonna be great. It's great. This is great. It's good for
Yes.
people to see you in your raw state
Yes. Or here. Yeah,
or hear you
as it
or
is.
see you with their minds in your
Yes.
rawest version.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you read and then I'll interrupt you or wait until you're done, depending on my vibes. And
All right.
then we'll talk about it.
Okay. So, here are some things about me that will maybe help you predict whether we're compatible. Note that apart from location and children, these aren't asks of you. They're facts about me.
Mm.
Um, which okay, here's one fact about me. I people had to tell me to add that because I was like, surely people will just assume that's what is going on, but apparently
Like
not.
people told you that when you list things about yourself, people will think that's an ask of other people.
Yes.
I mean, I think it depends how they're phrased. I don't see a huge difference between those things.
Um.
You're stating facts about yourself, which would imply for someone to be compatible, they should line up with those things about you. So I think it's cute that you added this sentence. I don't know if you need it.
Oh yeah. I guess like for instance, there's a line there that says like I don't really drink alcohol or whatever, and
Ah,
like I think someone might think you should not drink alcohol is like a bit I have about a partner. I think people were imagining that like there would be a hint of that in this, but they're like actually just is not.
well, I would with things like that, and we'll get to that, but I would add how you feel about your partner drinking alcohol, because that would be a question I would have regardless.
Hmm.
If you don't clarify, I don't drink alcohol, but I'm fine if you do, or I don't drink alcohol and I prefer my partner not, like I would want to know that because that's kind of like
Right.
a
Right.
black or white subject, black and
Okay.
white subject.
Okay. Um.
So let's get to that. But okay, the first one.
Yeah. Okay. So well, this one is more of an ask, which is as mentioned above. I think I want kids. I'm not dead set on them, but they seem pretty cool. And in general, I've observed my positive affect towards babies and children has grown a lot in the past 5 or so years.
Great. That one seems clear to me. Now, the only thing I would add potentially
Yep.
is how important are biological kids? Like, are you open to other people's kids? Are you open to adoption? Are you, and I don't know if those are things that vary partner dependent, but you might even say that. Or if you're like, I really want biological kids, it's very important to me. Like, I would maybe specify that, but, or maybe not. You could just leave it open ended. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that like biological children. I think like I'm primarily thinking of biological children when I'm
Hmm.
saying like what I want, and I'm like kind of I think that's what most. Yeah, maybe this is a lack of imagination, but I think that's what most people are going to read into this. And yeah, I think I don't want to be like, or maybe I should just say it because like I think I'm not like totally dead set on biological children, but it is like the main thing that I'm thinking of.
I think you're right. I think most people would assume that when they read that. My only other question would be like, if someone had kids,
Right, right.
would you date someone who had kids? Would you also want more of your own? But again, maybe that's more person dependent, and we just want to say, I want kids, and we leave it open ended beyond that.
Yeah, I think I like basically. I think I have not yet run into someone who is single with kids
Wow.
who I've otherwise been like, I should date this person.
Right. Sure. 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 Could happen,
Um,
but maybe San Francisco has less of that than LA. I feel like LA is fairly
Interesting.
common.
Or I mean, and it could just be my, uh, it could just be my social circles there.
Could be.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. Moving for a relationship is not totally out of the question, but the bar for doing so is quite high. Um, and probably like, probably this, if anything, is understating things. Like, I, it would be like a very, I think it would be a very big ask. It would be a very big lift for me to like move somewhere else.
Yeah.
For or yeah, maybe this gets to like work life balance or something. Like I could
Hmm.
imagine doing some so for a career, but it's like a it would be like a stretch. But for romance, I'm like, oh yeah, this might be understating how much I want to stay in the SF Bay Area.
But why is that? That's curious. I never thought of that before. But a lot of times people say, no, I wouldn't move for a relationship, but they will move for a career. What's that about?
Well, from my perspective, yeah, if I had to choose between like my career going really well and just having really bad romantic relationships, or like just never having a good romantic relationship forever, or having a really good romantic relationship and having a really bad career, I'd definitely choose the former.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's what everyone else is thinking, but I think that's just
I
that's what
mean,
it is for me.
I think that's probably a more realistic way to think about it. I think most people are thinking, I want both.
Hmm.
But for some reason, we think that we have. Um, hold on one second. Can you hear that?
I'm hearing like a very slight sound in the
Okay.
background, but
Okay.
not very
Sorry.
much.
Okay. Um, for some reason, and I find this in my work as a coach, is like a lot of people are willing to put the work in for like a job search or finding the perfect career, the perfect workplace for them, the thing that
Hmm.
inspires them. And they accept the fact that that might take a while or a lot of trial and error or a lot of work, a lot of thought. And for some reason, when it comes to romantic relationships, people are a lot less willing to accept that reality. And instead, they're like, they should just happen and be natural. It
Yeah,
should
yeah,
just
yeah.
happen. I should just meet someone in my coffee shop. I should walk around the corner and bump into them like I'm in a romantic comedy. And I'm like, why do we accept that work takes that much intentionality and focus, but not our romantic lives?
I wonder. I wonder if so. I think I'm broadly so okay. I'm very sympathetic towards like actually it does make sense for people to be maybe more intentional than um is standard for romance. I wonder if part of it is just like maybe you imagine like okay, how do I want romance to work? I want romance to be like this one relationship in my life where like I could just be like totally relaxed.
Hmm.
And maybe you think like okay, if I like do a bunch of like really effortful stuff, like somehow this is like displaying what I am like when I'm putting in a lot of effort, and which is like not a good proxy for what I'm going to be like when I just want to be relaxed and chilled out. And like, so from that perspective, maybe you do want to be like, actually, I'm not going to treat dates like I would job interviews or something.
No, no, you absolutely should not treat
Yeah,
dates like
yeah,
you
yeah.
would job interviews, but I'm
But
talking less about the content of the journey and more about the process.
yeah,
And that, like, people are way less willing to put the intentionality and the work and the time into meeting people. I totally agree. Once you meet people on the dates themselves, in the relationships
yeah,
themselves, you
yeah,
absolutely want to be yourself and relax. You should not approach like a job interview or a workplace at all.
yeah, yeah,
But on the way to getting there, it's this idea of like, it should fall into my lap. And if I have to work for it or find it, then that's not right. That means it's unnatural. And we
right.
don't feel that way about our career search.
Yeah.
When
Although
it's,
definitely, one thing I've noticed, like in organizations that I'm familiar with, is like the like very often the best hires are just like people you happen to know or something. So
Sure.
uh
And the
yeah,
person you end up dating might be someone you already know, but you have to be still
right.
putting that effort into just paying attention to that part of your life. Like, I guess I'm biased because I get a lot of people, in their mid
Yep.
30s or so who are like, okay, I'm ready. I spent the first part of my life focused on my career and now I'm ready. Where is it?
Yep.
And I'm like, why would you think you don't have to spend time and energy and effort on this thing
Yeah.
when it's arguably the most important decision in your life?
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe yeah, maybe I don't know. It's hard for me to psychoanalyze other people. I guess like if I'm thinking about okay, why don't I do more effort? So for instance, I grew up in Australia and I moved to the SF Bay area because I was interested in like AI safety things.
Hmm.
Um like and I totally like there's like if I wanted to move for dating reasons, I feel like I could. Like uh New York City, my understanding is that they have a much more favorable prime age dating ratio. I think much more favorable to men, I should say. Um, and I don't do that because I think my career would be worse, and that just is not worth it to me.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, maybe people are just underrating like what you can get for the effort. Like often when there are things that are valuable to me that I don't spend more effort on, it's because like doing it feels like a sort of black hole of effort that
Hmm.
nothing will ever come out of.
Hmm.
And like, yeah, if there were some sort of like fruitful thing I could do, then I do it, but it doesn't feel like there actually is.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that. But again, I think that falls a little bit into the idea of like, well, romantic
Yeah,
relationships, they kind of happen or they don't.
and it's also like,
Um,
did you check? You know,
what do you mean?
like if someone's like very fatalistic about the prospects of like about the like effort to pay off, thing. Like, did
Hmm.
you check
Right,
which things
right,
actually were? Yeah, I don't
right, right. And
know.
so I would say, and this just, I just thought of this because you're saying like, I
Yep.
definitely wouldn't move for a relationship, which I totally get. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're absolutely allowed to say, in my hierarchy of needs and what makes me happy, like if my job life isn't good, I'm not going to be happy in a relationship.
Yep.
Um, but it comes back to my thing of like,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we're ready for a relationship, we do have to be willing to change up our routine a little bit and put more focus and intentionality, just like we would if we were like, time for a career change, time to really figure out what I want, time to find the thing. It's like, then I would put different time and energy than I have been into it.
Right, right. I wonder if it's also just a thing where like your day has like a certain amount of energy budget, and like if you're doing a career search, it's because yeah. I guess I don't know how many people do career search on top of their jobs or something,
Mm,
but like you could imagine something of like okay, people just have a career. People just have some sort of energy budget, and like by the time they're done working, it's out, and like then maybe the question is why aren't people quitting their jobs to spend 6 months on dating?
hmm.
And presumably the answer must be because they don't think it's worth it. I don't know. Maybe you should maybe you should persuade people to do this. I
Maybe
don't
I
know.
should persuade people, take a dating sabbatical.
Yeah.
I think that would be great, actually. But I mean, that is a reality. People for sure have a limited amount of energy to put towards things, especially things that don't seem immediately rewarding or that
Yep.
take a certain amount of energy. And if you're, for instance, introverted and dating feels like more of a lift for you, I can totally see that. But I think you just have to then figure out how to budget for it and how to do it in a way that doesn't drain you as much, which I also think is possible. But
Mm.
you have to figure out like what's going to work for you and then find that energy somewhere, move
Yep.
numbers around.
Fair enough. Shall we return to the
We
doc
shall,
though?
we shall.
Okay.
Thank you for going on that journey with me.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, moving not totally out of the perhaps not totally out of the
Oh,
question, but very high bar.
so my question would be, and maybe you don't need to put this here, but I'm also just like, I'm
Yeah. Sure.
curious. Um, would you start a relationship, like you're going to New York this weekend? Let's say you met
Yep.
someone and they're like, I live in New York. but you really hit it off. Would you start a relationship long distance and
Hmm.
then figure it out? Or is it like from the get go, I have to be in the same city as the person?
Yeah, I think like I I think I'd I think being in contact at least sounds enticing. Um, would I start a thing? I think by default I wouldn't, but maybe like that's just me making a mistake, and I should be like willing to try that. Um, but I sort of have some sense of like, yeah, maybe it's because I've never tried it, but
Hmm.
like long distance relationship, it just does not feel very, um, it does not feel super appealing to me.
I get that. I mean, it also would give you more time for your job because you only have to clear a weekend every, 6 weeks or so.
Mm,
But it does take a lot of
efficiency.
energy in other ways, right?
Yep.
Um, and I think it's one of those things that a lot of people say they wouldn't do, and then when they meet the right person, they're like, "Well, I never thought I'd do this, but here I am doing it." So it's more
Yeah.
of a
Yeah.
hypothetical, but it's good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to think about because I believe, especially if you're traveling and you are focused on finding a relationship, doesn't hurt to look everywhere.
Yeah. 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 All right. Shall we move on to the next one?
Let us,
All right.
yes. Hmm.
I'm asexual. I enjoy physical contact, but having sex doesn't feel desirable or attractive to me. And as a subpoint, I'm open to polyamorous relationship arrangements, but will want to be in a primary/slash committed role. I forget why those are. There's obviously some relationship between those things. I
Yeah, I
think.
mean, I think it's if the person wants to have sex,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
can you be open so they can have sex?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think like there's. I think even aside from that, I think I'm just gonna make it being open to polyamorous relationships its own top level point.
Mm,
Um, I think that's one potential motivator. Also, just like definitely like a lot of people I know are like just want to be polyamorous. That's like important for them. Um, and so like even if like the asexuality factor were not a thing, um, then I would still want to say something about my attitude towards
hmm.
polyamory.
Hmm. That makes sense. I mean, I would have, and again, this is probably a further conversation, but
Mm,
I'd have a question of, are you willing to have sex to have children? I assume yes.
yeah,
So that would be kind of a lingering question for me, but obviously, someone, if they get that far, could ask that question.
yeah. I also have some. So I just recently got around to freezing some sperm.
Oh,
So yep,
that's good. Could
yes,
have that there. Um, and also, I find it, I mean, maybe because I'm not as educated about asexuality, um, but I think it helps to define what that means for you, which you
mm,
mostly have. But like when you've said to me, she was cute, like some people might think, oh, asexuality, you don't need to be physically attracted to a person. But I think
right,
when you
right.
say, I enjoy affection
Mm,
or I enjoy physical contact, I wonder if there's like some sort of,
it's a bit
um,
clinical.
you know, adding of and physical attraction, or I
Mm,
do feel physical attraction kind of.
yeah, maybe actually I should just add that like I feel physical attraction and enjoy physical
Yes,
contact.
there you go. Yes. Because for
Okay,
me, that
we're
just
making
feels
live edits.
important.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a somewhat awkward thing where on the one hand it just is a slightly awkward thing to talk about, but on the other hand it means that I don't have good like I'm just sort of limited in my understanding of what other people like do and don't know, right?
Hmm.
Because I'm sort of like stuck in like, oh yeah, I just have the normal thing that I'm used to, you
Right.
know.
Right. 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 Right.
So it's useful to hear things like this.
Yeah. 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 Because to you, it's just normal.
Yep.
and you're
like
not,
I'm aware that it's not the statistical norm, obviously, but
but
yeah,
it's the norm for you, and so
yeah,
you don't know what the kind of blind spots are for other people.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I think it's helpful to know, because I think it's helpful to know being in a relationship with an asexual person doesn't mean a lack of like affection, physical attraction, kind of like energy between the two of you. It just means there's not going to be like the physical act of that,
yeah, yeah.
right? Do you kiss and hug?
I've been known to on occasion.
Okay, okay, okay. Could add that.
Um,
Up to you. I've been known
yeah,
to. Yeah. Do you enjoy that or no?
yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, like most of these things, really good to be upfront with them, and then if people have further questions, they can ask them.
Yeah.
Okay, polyamorous. I feel like that's clear,
Okay. And
right?
then
Yeah.
yeah. So next point after that
Mm.
is I'm vegan and disapprove of the consumption of meat, eggs, and dairy. I'm okay with being close with people who aren't vegan, but I could imagine tension about how to raise any children, or if you think that non-human animal welfare obviously doesn't matter.
So you don't mind if the person is like eating something in front of you.
I don't mind, except to the there are some things that just like smell gross to me that I think don't smell gross to people who are like used to eating meat, or maybe they even do like canned tuna. Like my understanding is that this does not smell good to even to normal people. Yeah,
No, it doesn't even smell good to people who eat it.
yeah, yeah.
So,
But like I think for instance, like I think a lot of people who eat bacon think that that smells good, for instance, which I kind of don't really. So okay. There's like that side of things, but
hmm.
I'm not like um, given that someone like does eat meat or whatever, I'm not like that bothered by them doing it like in front of me.
But you don't want your children to.
Um, like I would prefer for my children not to, but I'm like, well, like that would be my initial like bid, and then I imagine like I could imagine being persuaded like of some sort of other settlement, or like if someone's like no, it's like actually really important for their development or whatever,
Hmm.
like I could imagine some sort of like arrangement or something. But I'm very hesitant to be like, oh, here's exactly how I would want my future kids to be
Right,
raised with someone, given that like
right.
I don't yet have a partner, and it's just like down the like it seems down the line.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
How long have you been vegan?
Oh, I've been vegan for about a bit over 12 years now.
Well,
Vegan with an asterisk. I do so I'm vegan except for like oysters and mussels,
oh,
because I don't think they like they're technically animals, but like you know there's not that much going on there, right? Um, except the concept of actually eating them is disgusting to me. So instead, I have like I get these capsules where they take mussels and then they freeze dry them and then they powder them and then they like put them in the little capsules. Then I take the capsules because I assume that's like probably healthy.
so you do it so that you're getting some sort of animal protein.
It's actually more about so first so the protein I think is like surprisingly I think it's much less of a problem than people think. I partly do it for like it is sufficient for my vitamin B12 intake, which I think vitamin B12 is more of a problem than people think on veganism on vegan diets. And then secondly, I'm like, who knows how good nutrition science is? Just in case there's something there. Let's just take my little my muscle
Your little
capsules.
muscle pills.
Uh,
Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm fine with the way this is phrased. I think it seems a little when you say I could imagine tension about how to raise any children. It
yep.
sounds to me like you want your kids to be vegan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean.
So I'm wondering, like, do we just say, I'm vegan and disapprove of the consumption of meat, eggs, and dairy. I'm okay with being close with people who aren't vegan.
Just leave it there. Yeah,
You know,
I think
but
like
you could say, but I could imagine tension if you think that non human animal welfare obviously doesn't matter.
yeah.
Although, I mean, probably most people who
I
eat
also don't
meat
even.
think that.
I think this view. I think my social circles veganism is overrepresented, and also animals are like just actually literally don't matter at all is probably overrepresented. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I think yeah, I could imagine just cutting that whole bit.
Yeah, I think
Um,
you could just say, I'm okay with being close with people who aren't vegan,
yep.
and then let the rest kind of unfold.
Yeah.
Because probably someone who like really thinks veganism is dumb or disagrees with it is already
Right.
going to
Right.
be, judging you about that.
Yep.
So maybe
Okay.
a little
I
nitpicking,
will.
but
I will not make that edit immediately, but I probably will
yeah,
think about it. I'll put
okay.
it on the list.
Take it note.
All right.
Great.
Um,
Okay.
Next up,
Mm.
I don't really drink alcohol or take other recreational intoxicants, which is to say, I do such things less than once a month, but not never. You have a question or a point?
I don't know if I do. I think
Hmm.
I'm actually okay with that because by saying I do them less than once a month, but not never, that implies to me that you're okay if your partner does them.
Which is correct.
Great.
Yeah, I think like yeah, in terms of like what I actually want out of a partner, I think like there are some people for whom regular drug consumption is like part of their identity or something
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
a way that I find somewhat off-putting.
Hmm.
Um, but like not be like if you like enjoy the taste of whiskey or something, or like if you drink once a week, I or like once every 2 days or something, but it's not like a problem. I imagine that like I imagine that's probably going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm debating if you should put something like, I'm okay if my partner drinks more than I do within reason or something like that, or if you should just leave it here and it's enough that you say you do it occasionally, and so they could assume, oh, it's okay if I do it
Yeah,
occasionally.
yeah,
I'm also guessing most people in your circle are not like huge drinkers.
that's correct. Although like I think most people in my circle are not huge drinkers. You do like I think like literally never drinking alcohol is probably also rare. Um, but yeah, I think like you have so every so often there's like there'll be like these EA conferences,
Hmm.
and some hotel will be booked out, and apparently like the bar people will be like, man, unusually low drinking this thing. A lot of diet cokes here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, there's definitely some sort of aggregate you know lower amount of drinking in
How do
these
you feel
bars.
about Diet Coke?
I am actually like very sensitive to caffeine.
Hmm.
So like two diet cokes will actually like kind of will actually like meaningfully impact the way I feel the rest of the day, which I think is rare.
Well, two Diet Cokes is kind of a lot. That's like two coffees, isn't it?
No, a diet coke is like 50 milligrams, so it's closer to like one coffee.
Okay.
I mean, it depends how much coffee, right? But I think actually I think it's maybe even 40 milligrams of caffeine. Um, Diet Coke,
Do you
how
drink
much?
coffee?
I've actually started to enjoy 46 milligrams. I have started to enjoy drinking decaf at the
Hmm.
office.
Hmm.
But like I don't really drink coffee, or I don't really drink caffeinated coffee.
Hmm. Yeah. So you're a little caffeine sensitive.
Yeah,
It's all right. We'll let it pass.
it's forgivable
Yeah, I
in
think you
this day
can
and
leave
age.
that, the alcohol, probably as it is, and people can extract their own meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next point. Um, I'm very politically libertarian. No elaboration.
How do you feel about other people's politics?
Um, I again, if you're not like I I feel pretty like uh you know relatively open to people with different politics. Um, I could imagine like I think I mostly put that there because I could imagine it being a turnoff for people.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Other politics seem fine.
Okay. I mean, I feel like the nature of libertarianism is probably like other politics are fine as long as the person isn't like, that's my whole identity is having
Right.
these extreme politics.
You'd be surprised how how easy it is to be intolerant. I think, but
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. That is the nature of how I feel about such
yes,
things.
that seems fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Somewhat inside baseball. I'm active in the less wrong and effective altruism communities. Although I would say I'm more of a less wronger than an effective altruist.
Mm, great. If someone wants to know what that means, they can look it up.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Um. Next one. Which basically a housemate strongly bidded for me to add to this document, which is I sneeze extremely loudly, loud enough that I have one friend who is genuinely seriously bothered by it, but not so loud that I have more than one such friend. Well, as far as I know. If you don't have misophonia, which is like
Mhm.
basically the condition of being like extremely bothered by certain sounds, I think this will probably not be a deal breaker.
I love this because it shows your humor and a little of self deprecation. And it's honest, and some people really do not like mouth sounds, big
Yeah,
sounds. What is your sneeze like?
it's sort of like a yell
Oh my
tier
God.
sound. Yeah, it's not
How,
like inhumanly loud, but it is like pretty loud.
how often do you sneeze? Do you sneeze a lot?
I guess it depends. Like, I feel like so it's kind of unremarkable to me because I'm used to it, right? Definitely more than once a week. I have not sneezed loudly in the past hour. Um, once once a day, maybe. It's possible you should ask my friend with misophonia. They might have a better sense of this.
So you don't have like allergies.
I think I get a bit of seasonal allergies, but like I don't have like serious allergies. I would say.
So you won't be one of those people who sneeze. You know those people who sneeze like 5 times in a row?
Yeah, I think that's not me.
That's not you. So you do more one big one, and
Yeah.
everybody just better run for cover.
Well, I'm sure some people can withstand it, even without running for cover. Uh, yeah, maybe I'm less self aware about my sneezing than might be implied by this being an item on my Date Me doc. Uh, I could imagine. I think I've sneezed twice in a row. I think that's happened. Um,
I think you should attach an audio file of your
well,
sneeze.
the problem is you would want to like it's hard to have a sense of like the relative loudness of things
Right.
in an audio file, right? Especially because like the whole purpose of sound engineering is to have things just at this like nice sweet spot for the microphone. So yeah.
I was kidding, but um,
Oh,
you know,
I would if that worked, I would actually do that.
I know you
Um,
would. I know you would. But you could, you could add, the good news is I don't sneeze very often, or I don't sneeze remarkably often or abnormally often, but you also could just leave it as, if people don't like loud sneezes, they're not
yeah,
going to like you.
I I could do. Yeah, I don't know. I get hung up on like, well, what is abnormally often? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, there are people who like sneeze a lot
Yeah.
or like a
I
lot in a row.
yeah. I guess like you've had like you've seen me for like an hour a week. So I guess this gives you like some sense of like how much I sneeze.
Yeah, I've
What's
never
your
seen you sneeze.
you've never heard me sneeze. You've
I
never
don't
seen me
think
sneeze.
so.
All
I
right.
don't think I've ever seen you sneeze.
There you go.
Have you ever seen me sneeze?
I couldn't it it wasn't memorable.
I
If
think
you
sneezing is kind of rare.
that might be yeah. Let's move on.
Okay,
As fun as it is to contemplate the humble sneeze.
I'm going to
Um
think about it.
yeah. Next up, I don't believe in God. I am interested in the phenomenon of religion, but don't recommend practicing it.
That's an interesting one because this is the first one where you're saying something you feel about someone else doing a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, here's okay, why did I put this here? Partly I feel like a standard like religion is one of those standard things that, I feel like is in the conversation with dating. Partly it's because I just am more interested in the phenomenon of religion than most people,
Mm.
such that you might genuinely think that I was like a very devout Christian or something
Mm.
if we had had the wrong set of conversations. For instance, I have recently been just like pestering my friend to listen to this podcast called Christianity on the Spectrum, which is about autism and Christianity.
Wow,
It's a good genuinely, it's a good podcast.
I
I
believe you.
I recommend it. But yeah, I think like yeah, maybe like don't recommend practicing it. Like maybe this comes off as a little bit strong. Um, but yeah, I guess I'm just trying to make the point that like I'm not religious. I guess there is something of a compatibility thing here, where like if somebody was like committed to the practice of religion, I could imagine that being like a serious difficulty, compatibility wise.
Yeah. I mean, I
Uh,
think by saying it that way, you're making your stance very clear.
yeah,
I
yeah,
doubt, again, that there's many people who are going to line up with all of these other things and then be like, but I'm a devout Catholic. You know,
yeah,
like you're mostly already taking care of this. And then
yep.
you're
You
making
do
your
get a few.
stance very known,
Yep.
which is fine.
You, yeah, yeah, yeah. You get a few. Maybe more than you might guess.
Well,
But yeah,
I mean, it's almost a provocative thing to say in that case to say, I don't recommend practicing it. Like you're almost saying, like, you shouldn't. Um, rather than just saying, but I don't,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So up to you.
Yeah. It's a good point. I guess there's like maybe part of it is I think like there are some people who um I think there are some people who are like actually yeah there are some people who are interested in religion and they think religion is like actually pretty good. They like are pro people being religious, but they're like, oh well, I just can't bring myself to. And like
Mm,
that's not my situation.
hmm.
um but
Okay.
I could and so maybe the way to say that is just like I'm interested in the phenomenon of religion, but like don't think it's a good idea or something. But like something a little bit less like second person.
Yeah, you could think about it. You could think about it. But then, given that, I think this is also fine of just like, and let me be clear, I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so that knowing that it's actually fine. It just is a little stronger than anything else that you've put in here. Like
Yeah,
everything else, you remain pretty neutral, and then here you're like, I am not neutral,
fair enough.
which
Yeah,
is fine, which is
and
also kind of
yeah,
nice.
and I probably am a bit like I think like that and kids are the things where I think I actually would make this where like if someone was dead set on not having kids
Hmm.
or I think being like very devotedly religious would probably be worse for compatibility than being
Mm-hmm.
dead set on not having kids.
Hmm.
But like there's a top two. Yeah, so I think I somewhat endorse being a little bit more uh I guess like I don't want to say strident, but like
Hmm. Yeah.
I think I endorse being a
Vocal.
little bit more
Yeah.
that way.
I'm wondering, probably doesn't make a huge difference, but just something to think about would be, should it be higher up in the list?
Yeah, I think the reason it's not is that uh I think if you read this the rest of this document, you're probably just going to assume that I'm not religious. Would be my guess. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's interesting that it comes after the like kind of most
Like I
silly
sneeze
thing.
very loudly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Like,
I think again we might be running into like to some degree this is a thought out document and to some degree this is just the order in which I thought of things.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you could leave it just natural like that. We
Yeah.
also could put it up towards the top just in case you're like, don't read any further if you practice organized religion, you know.
Um I mean it's better than disorganized religion. Like
Mm,
goodness me.
mm, mm.
But yeah, I could probably move it a little bit up.
Yeah, you can move it a little up.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, now we're
Next
at
up,
photos.
photos.
Cute.
Famously hard to describe in the podcast medium. One, a dynamic photo of me striding with plants in the background, combing my hair
I like it.
with my hand. One, I have a sort of small, I think it's fair to say pudgy baby
Hmm.
attached to me, strapped to my chest. Um,
I
this
love
is my,
these.
yeah.
They're great. They
That,
somehow both have the same color scheme.
oh, yeah, interesting. Um, huh. I had
That's
not
fun.
explicitly noticed that, but they do have the same color scheme.
It's very pleasing aesthetically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That
into
baby.
it.
The thing about this baby photo is that the father. I don't want to say he looks exactly like that, but it's more of a similarity than one might suspect. Um, and then the caption, which can be spoken over the radio, over
Yes, go
these
ahead.
podcast medium, is neither my friend's baby nor I know how to smile for photos, because both of us have a sort of well, the baby has what I would describe as almost a like neutral to surprised to disapproving expression,
Yes.
and I have definitely not a smile.
It's definitely like intense focus
Yes.
of how to get this photo and also maybe fascination with the baby. Like it
Maybe.
looks like you're obviously looking at the camera, it's a
Yeah.
selfie, but I feel like you're really zeroing in on the baby's face.
I did want to get both of them in.
Yes.
I think at this point, I think when I took this photo, I was definitely like used to the baby, but yeah, I am thinking about composition of this shot.
I love the
I assume.
baby. I love
Yeah,
the
yeah,
baby.
yeah,
Look at that chin.
yeah. It's wild.
So cute.
Now a proper now a few years old. This photo is a bit old. The
Oh,
baby's now walking around.
oh,
Yeah,
might need some newer photos then.
might
I
need some
mean,
newer photos.
these do look like you, but never hurts to have some fresher ones
Yes,
as well.
never hurts. Never hurts.
Okay, do you want to read fun facts about you?
Yeah, fun
Okay.
facts about me.
Mm.
Fact number one: I grew up in Australia. My accent is predominantly General American, but retains a few Australian characteristics. For example, the way I say no.
Now, I'm going to have to push back on this.
Oh yeah,
I think you have more of an accent than you think you do.
I think that like so basically my arbiter here is what do people so firstly there's just like a range of reactions including like well like I think the average reaction I get from an American is like it takes it takes them a while. Like they notice something's a little bit off, but
Mm-hmm.
like they can't quite place it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think people who are neither from Australia nor from the US
Mm.
think of me as having like an American accent,
Sure, that makes
basically.
sense.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is why, yeah, I think it's like it's one of these things that's hard to describe because like it actually just hits different people differently. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess listeners can judge for themselves.
Listeners can judge for themselves. I
Yeah,
find it charming. I think you have more of an accent, and people love accents. But
right.
you're right. Probably someone who's not American or Australian would think you just have a normal American accent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second up, the caption on the previous page, while funny is literally true, I am extremely is no, I think extremely is fair. I am
Mm-hmm.
extremely bad at purposely smiling in photos. And as a subtitle, I've been told that when I smile in real life, I smile like Keira Knightley.
You kind of look like her.
Huh.
Yeah.
In what way do you think I look like Keira
Well,
Knightley?
you've got similar coloring. You have that like sly smile. It is the smile a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
coloring. And I could just see if she was a man, she might look like you.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Very
keep that in mind.
demure. There's something very demure about you.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Um, And then the next point is I can, in my head, approximately calculate the factorials of large numbers, but it takes me an unimpressive amount of time. You can too by memorizing Stirling's approximation and a few base 10 logarithms.
Love it. Great.
Yeah, it's
You're
unfortunately
so
it takes too long
generous.
to be a good party trick, but I think it's like I th- the last time I did it, it took me like a minute, but then people were like, "Oh, that's like actually quite good." So yeah,
I like that. I like wherever humor about yourself kind of pops up here without being, you're not too self deprecating, but it does show like another side of you, which is nice.
hmm,
So I like that.
okay. And then this one, oh yeah, this is a thing that I'm legitimately kind of proud of, which is that Wiktionary uses a sentence that I originally wrote but didn't add to Wiktionary to illustrate the use of the word scrutable.
Do they know you originally wrote it?
I think that it's I think it's like cites the paper that it's from. Hang on,
Oh, cool.
let me check that this is still true. Okay, so it doesn't. Yeah, the quote does not have a like an attribution, but like so it's from a paper that I was, I believe, the lead author on, or there were a few like joint lead authors, but like I was one of the lead authors, so they knew that I was one of like a small number of people who would have composed that sentence. I guess
They should credit you.
they should. They should.
They should. Why don't you put in a, I don't
Well,
know.
it seems like a conflict of interest, and you know, it's the point of it is to understand the use of the word scrutable. So you know,
Very
you don't need
important,
my name for that.
I
Um,
suppose.
okay, this one might need some explanation. So I came up
Yes.
with what I believe is the worst unparalleled misalignment yet found. Specifically, it was used by the creator of the art form as an example of the epitome of unfunniness and torturedness. So, do you know what an unparalleled misalignment is?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's a type of pun.
Oh,
Um, so one example is unparalleled misalignment. So un and miss sort of mean the same thing, right?
uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And parallel and align,
Mm-hmm.
that's like sort of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But unparalleled and misalignment, they sort of mean, you know, they're like not quite the same. So
Yes.
that's not that funny.
Mm.
I think the like standard funny unparalleled misalignment is father figure dad bod,
Uh-huh. Okay.
because you know
Yes, I
it's
get
like a
you.
little bit
Yeah.
juicy.
Yeah.
Um, and I came up with an unparalleled misalignment called it's yeah Los Angeles newspaper comics, which it requires a lot of explanation to make sense and is hence somewhat tortured, and it's also not very funny. And the main like there's a queen of unparalleled misalignments who like created a you know basically described okay what makes an unparalleled misalignment good and had some sort of 2D axis of how funny it is and like how natural it is versus how much you have to like really how much of a reach it is. And in the corner of unfunny and like a big reach, she put Los Angeles newspaper comics.
So you have been credited there.
I don't know if credited is the
Well,
right.
not credited, but she used yours. You did it. You came
Yeah,
up with the
she didn't
worst
put my
one.
name next to it,
That's okay.
but yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
If we had more time, I would ask you to explain it to me, but
yeah. It's unfortunately it would take some time.
yeah. So save it for your first dates. This is wonderful first date conversation.
Yeah. I have actually. So I don't know if I've mentioned this, but this dating doc, it has been a hit among the like straight male community of people who know me, and I have had a few conversations where people were like, "Please explain it," and then I
Yes.
did, and they're like, "Oh, I don't. This is a bad use of my time."
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Love that.
all right. So next up is the reason I got around to actually writing this Date Me doc is that I told someone I would pay them $200 if I didn't publish one by a certain date. The reason I did that is that I told the same person I would pay them $100 if, by a certain date, I didn't arrange to make a deal to pay them at least $100 if I didn't publish a Date Me doc by a certain date.
Wow.
I don't know how comprehensible that is.
It's, this is like maybe my fourth or fifth time reading it, and I just got it, I think.
Okay.
So I think that you like things that take a little brain exercise. And so for you, it is great. And the right person for you will find this titillating.
I think it's also an illustration of, you know, sometimes I procrastinate things, and sometimes I have to pay money to people to ensure that I don't procrastinate on things. And sometimes I have to pay money to people to ensure that I don't procrastinate on the task of paying money to people to ensure that I don't procrastinate on doing things. And
But I think
I
it
think that says
also,
something about me. It
yes.
also does say something about like this is a guy who enjoys a bit of recursion. But
And it is a guy who ultimately, eventually, is good for his word and does what he says he was going to do.
yes,
So I
indeed,
like it. I think it's good. And then you have a cute photo on roller skates.
yes. It's me roller skates wearing a funny helmet, and it says thanks for reading my date me doc.
It's very cute.
I'm
Okay.
glad to hear.
I feel like we did it.
Yeah,
I hope that what your listeners got is that they should set you up on dates and that your date me doc is very funny and entertaining and also honest and real. But with or without it, they should set you up on dates and you're willing to go and put the effort in, just like
yes,
you would looking for the right career.
yep. I am willing to go on dates that people set me up with.
And it would be great. And you can spend the whole time. You already have such great first date conversation all
Yeah,
lined up to go.
there's hang on. So we've got like explain Los Angeles newspaper comics. What else do we have?
We have explain how this date me doc came to be. We
Yep,
have Sterling's approximation
yep,
and doing that party trick. We have arguing about how Australian your accent is.
yes.
We
All right,
have,
yeah,
probably not the right person for you, but you could spend some time explaining less wrong and effective altruism.
could do.
You
I think
could,
that's I I I think it is totally fine if someone does not happen
okay,
to be
great.
familiar with those things.
Good, good, great. I would maybe clarify that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I feel like that can be a thing where people are like, oh, I don't get that, or I need to get that, or they're going to want to talk about that. Maybe you are, but that doesn't mean you're not open to someone who first would have to learn about it.
right.
So maybe something about that would
Okay,
be
let me
good.
actually that one I feel like I'm just gonna add now. Don't know what that is.
Great.
Feel
Yeah.
free to ask.
Right.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that a normal
Yeah.
thing to say?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Or you could say happy to discuss.
Yep.
Um,
Um,
yeah. And then you could talk about religion with people.
people love talking about
People
religion
love,
on
but I mean, you
dates.
could talk about it in the way you like to talk about
Right.
it, which
Sure.
is like an interesting phenomenon.
Yep.
Um, so look at all that.
Yeah. Exciting.
You could ask every person you go on a date with to write you a review afterwards and add it to your Date Me Doc. Wouldn't that be
I
fun?
think I think I don't want to. I think I don't want people to face the prospect of homework as a punishment for dating me. But
That's fair, I
as
suppose.
if I could, that would be like
Well, how about if they decide not to date you and they're like, oh, I had a great time, but I don't feel it? You could be like, may I ask you for a test about you?
um,
Try something new. I'm all about reinventing how we do this.
hmm,
Could be interesting. Because I think a
yeah,
lot of women are like, if this guy only knew, it would help him so much on his future dates. But no one has the bravery
right,
to tell each other.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just something to ponder. But, anyways, we have a lot of topics for you on your first dates. So, everyone should be very excited to set you up. And you're just going to go on a first date with anyone to have the experience
Yep,
and learn something.
very true. And to close this up, listeners, it's possible you've already heard this, but it might be a while ago, or I might have cut it out. Um, if Dahlia, if someone listens to this and they're like, "Wow, this is a devoted, this is an amazing dating coach," I want to like sign me up. How do they do that?
They can ask you to connect us. They can
Okay,
go to my website, which is daliyakarnofsky.com, Daliya Karnofsky, Karnofsky.com, or they can email me, Daliya, Daliya .k@gmail.com.
all right.
Those are the.
Thanks very much for chatting. And yeah, I will see you around,
I
dear
will see you
listeners.
around. I'll probably see you next week. Oh, also, they can listen to my old defunct podcast called Not Your Therapist,
Yeah.
where I do more of this fun coaching.
I think I was actually chatting with someone who had listened to your podcast and I think was recommending that I listen to it too.
Nice. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's got a lot of little juicy tidbits and me over analyzing people's profiles and things like that. So
Nice.
it can be fun.
That over analyzing people's profiles. That sounds good.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool. Well,
I will see you soon. Best of luck. Have fun in New York. Keep your eyes and your energy out. You never know who you could meet.
all right. And listeners, thanks for listening. Um, and hopefully, I have nothing to follow that up with. Sorry. Goodbye, listeners. Goodbye. Recording done.